Thank you, our esteemed speakers, for an insightful session. Moving ahead, I would request we will have Mr. Rajat Jain, founder and CEO of Sunface Technology Private Limited, for a presentation. Please welcome on the stage.
The gaps with the currently available cardiac monitoring point-of-care devices for last-mile users are making this challenge more complex. We are solving this biggest global health challenge by providing the accessible, simple and affordable product innovation. Spundun is a matchbox-size cardiac monitoring equipment which can monitor ECG with clinical-grade accuracy, detects 40-plus abnormalities with edge-based AI algorithms, needs no expertise and can be used anytime, anywhere. A cardiac patient can do his cardiac screening using Spundun sitting at home and can get to know about the cardiac abnormalities instantly without any doctor anytime. In other cases, a doctor at clinic can do instant screening on a patient so that the right treatment can be provided timely. Also, a cardiac surgeon can monitor his patient remotely anytime. We started with a vision to disrupt the rural point-of-care cardiac diagnostic market. But later, we found out that it's not just rural India. Most of the parts of the globe need this solution desperately at home. We have saved more than 2,000 plus lives and diagnosed more than 20 million heartbeats. Spundun ECG got featured on Shark Tank India Season 1 and won an incredible all-shark deal. Spundun managed to prevent heart attacks in the Kedarnath Yatra, organized free ECG camps for pilgrims that resulted in huge decline in deaths due to heart attacks. Spundun has become the leading portable ECG brand globally, and our team is striving to work harder every day in order to save as many lives as possible.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much, APAC, for the opportunity. I started Sunfox back in 2016. I was building race cars earlier, and that's when I lost one of my friend at the age of 21 to a heart attack. That was a moment which brought my attention that how as the grad engineers react to a heart attack like situation, and how we actually keep patients uh, away from these situations. How do we react to those symptoms? And due to that life threatening situation, we usually see after COVID that youngsters are having heart attack, but heart attacks are the leading killer globally. Every time you scroll your Instagram feed or a Facebook feed, you'll probably find uh, many people dying due to heart attacks in India and globally. About 20 billion people dies. COVID brought attention to the health, decentralization of healthcare. But where do we see cardiac monitoring devices, cardiac diagnostic solutions at the penetration level at the in India? So when we realize that the basic cardiac monitoring tool, which is ECG, which all of us are familiar with, is actually limited to the hospitals, and we rarely see the penetration of these equipments at the last mile. And that was the point which brought our attention to develop a tool which can actually reduce the event to the balloon time, and as we accelerate this time, we save the golden hours, and which eventually can actually prevent the mortality and damage to the heart. Because when we talk about a patient who is having chest pain, 80% of the time, patients are troubling to have a decision between when to eat a aspirin or when to eat a Digene. So these are the solution which these are the problems which we encountered, and we actually started building a tool. We found that the smartphone which we all carry in our pocket today is almost 100,000 times faster than the computers which we used to have, and almost a million times faster than the computer which made the human landing possible on the moon. So why don't we use the smartphone's capability, and we turn a smartphone into the life-saving capabilities? And that's how the entire journey started 8 years ago. And the idea was, as we have heard it here before that if we reduce the cost of the solutions, can we actually cut down the cost of per test for less cost than a cup of tea? And that's something which we benchmarked and started building this solution. So we built world's smallest and the smartest cardiac diagnostic tool. We developed. If you look at the ECG machines, so there are the two major components. One is the ECG cable, and second one is a projector size ECG machine, and which is the entire equipment, which has the 90% of the cost of the whole setup. In our case, we actually eliminated the entire machine. So now imagine you don't need a ECG machine to do a ECG. So we just develop a smart cable, which is intelligent enough for a non-medical person to use it, and then provide the same quality and accuracy of the data which we get in an ICU grade machine. And as Dr. Singh also mentioned, that how we decentralize and reach to the patient, and how we keep the patient out of the hospital with the minimal damage. That's how our devices function. So we have the solutions for the patient who can do the self monitoring the same way you use a thermometer or a pulse oximeter for the early monitoring, and then they get to know when the event or symptoms are happening, that when they want to see the doctor. At the same time, the hospital gets a notification of their patients, who are specifically being monitored remotely. The high-risk patients, who are on the heart failure verge, or patients who have had the heart attack in the past. So we simply provide the machines post-operative care at the hospital, like at the time of discharge, and whenever they have the symptoms or during their routine, that data comes to our cardiac response center, where trained clinicians respond back within a turnaround time of 5 minutes. So say it is completely decentralized in a way that if I am doing ECG sitting somewhere in remote, so then I don't have to depend on a hospital for the preliminary trigger or preliminary alert that yes, I need a medical attention or not. Once you get the trigger, then you can rush for the medical attention without delaying. So we have a family of the devices. It starts from the consumer for the patient uses. Then we cater the clinics and the primary healthcare centers. We cater about 8,000 plus clinics currently in India. And then we have a version for the professional and the diagnostic providers, for health camps, for doing the bedside ECGs, and for setting up the satellite centers, setting up the hub and spoke centers. So the professional solution is for that. And the last but not least is the our defense solution, which is the military grade device. We are the largest supplier to the Indian Army, and we have deployed the devices at the very high altitude and the coastal areas and all the tough terrains where avoiding the entire ECG equipments and the monitoring equipments, they can actually turn their smartphone into a diagnostic tool as well as the remote monitoring tool anytime. So the patient use case typically is patients who had the damage to their heart, and post having a heart attack. All those patients who are on high risk, patients who are having comorbidities, these turn into our direct, customer segments. And whether they're traveling, whether they're managing the disease, whether they're having anxieties about their heart health, or delusional patients when they're troubling between a differentiation of having a gas pain or a chest pain, so they can differentiate between that. We have actually proven accuracy of detecting STEMIs and aniSTEMIs with more than 99.76% accuracy, which is actually higher than the traditional machines which we use in the hospitals. And then the interesting part here is that our solutions come at the fraction of the cost, almost 1/10 of the cost of the traditional solutions. So this solution we offer for the professionals, especially the hospitals and the care providers. So as you can see here, just a cable is sufficient to get you the similar quality of the data. and then it plugs to the hospital platforms. So the hospital doesn't have to use a different platform, or if a hospital has an app, so our device gets integrated with the hospital programs as well, so that when a patient they use the hospital applications, they get the data, the hospital gets the alert in their emergency, so that the resident doctor can actually monitor the patient remotely and keep getting the data. So we actually focus on improving the patient outcomes and reduce the damage after the heart attacks. When it comes to the medical devices, the first question comes on the clinical value and the regulatory status of the devices. We are the highest regulated devices in this segment in India right now, having published clinical studies on more than 30,000 plus patients. We have achieved the highest accuracy in the portable ECG segment, which is most of the time better than the traditional solutions. And we are also expecting a US FDA to come anytime soon. I'll be talking about the patient outcomes here. So a case study which I'll be, it gives us a pride to share that there was a 97% decline in the deaths due to heart attacks in Kedarnath by deploying 3 of these devices. Because all of us know that Kedarnath has a very difficult terrain, and because of the religious region, in 2022 when we started this study, in first 2 months 107 people die due to heart attacks. And when we started using a standard operating protocol for eliminating the high risk patients from those tracking and doing the physical exertion, so there was only 3 deaths happen in next 3 months, and that's the kind of impact we have been able to achieve at the last mile. This is how your smartphone turns into a 3D augmented tool. A non-medical person who never used an electrocardiography machine or a ECG machine without a training, just when you plug it with your phone, it's like a headphone cable which we used to have earlier, without any battery, without any maintenance. You don't have to worry about whether your device is working or not. A 12-gram device can actually solve the entire problem while you put it with your smartphone. We work in the post-operative care models, which actually impacts the patient outcome as well as the hospital top lines, and also the feeding of the patients from the hub and spoke models. So the spokes around the hospitals actually use the devices, and the data become that data is actually transmitted to the hospitals in the real time, so that the hospital can actually manage the ACS protocol in those patients. So Spandan is basically a Swiss knife of the ECG. It actually it's robust and rugged, and it actually gets the job done at the fraction of the cost. When we were talking about the telemedicines here, we are the largest provider to eSanjeevani right now in India, and scaling up to the government facilities as well. And we have been appreciated by Prime Minister of India for this innovation, and now we are scaling up globally. Thank you so much. We have a stall set up outside, so I would invite all of you to please visit us and join us for these life-saving efforts. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Rajat. That was really insightful. Now I would request Mr. Gopi Arora, founder of APAC News and Network, to provide a small memento to Mr. Rajat.